Hi, my name is Frankie. Thank you for listening to my mom. I never listen.
Have Vic Schaefer, the head coach of Texas in his first year, two-time National Coach of the Year, and a big-time winner who is bringing his winning habits to Austin, Texas. Vic, thank you so much for being with us today.
Hey, thanks for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity, and let's have some fun.
Hey, give us the state of the union. Like, how's it going? We know you're off to a 2-0 start. We know you've just joined the AP poll at number 25, so things seem to be going pretty well.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really really pleased for my kids. For them to see the work that they put in come to fruition, and to be in that top 25 is it's early, but it's good for them. I'm really happy for them. They've worked extremely hard, Debbie. They bought in, and we're different. We're new, and sometimes that's hard, especially for young people. And man, they haven't complained one bit. They've just brought their hard hat and their lunch pail to work every day. And I'm just those first two games, I was as worried about them as any Elite Eight or Final Four game I had. I mean, we played an SMU team with 4 starters back, and they had lost 7 games last year by a total of 22 points, and still were 15-15. And thought we just came out and played with tremendous energy and passion, effort, and then North Texas. I think, and I was told by others too that know that this is a better North Texas team than a year ago. And that team a year ago took Texas to 5 points in Hawaii, almost beat them over there. So to come out and play like we played, I didn't think we quite had the energy against North Texas on Sunday that we did the first night. But man, I couldn't be more proud of my kids. Obviously, Charli Collier had a big night for us against North Texas, and she's really special. I mean, she's got a skill set that's pretty unique and dynamic. So her and Celeste are kind of, we only have 2 kids. When you look at our roster, we have 2 kids that played over 20 minutes a game a year ago. It's pretty incredible. We only have 9 eligible players right now, and 4 of them are freshmen. So I mean, it's a pretty incredible deal when you look at it, and to see, how well they've done some things. I'm really proud of them.
Vic, I've known you a long time, and I don't know many who embrace the grind more than you do. You absolutely love it, and I think you're bringing a work ethic that is one to be admired at Texas. How's that going over with your players?
Well, I think it's different for them. You know me. We don't apologize for being demanding, but I just think they've seen in these first 2 games that all their hard work is showing them something new and different, and they like it. And so we have to take every day one day at a time. We have where we are today. We're going to be different in a month. We'll be different in 2 months. We'll be different in 3 months. You know what? We're going to be different in a year. We didn't get a spring with this team. We get hired in April. We don't get that springtime with them. We didn't get summer 1 with them. Half of summer 2 was over before we started working with 2 people at a time in a gym, 1 on each end. You do that for 2 weeks, then you get 4 people in a gym. You do that for 2 weeks. Well, then you can risk it if you want to, having your whole team in there. But until we could start testing 3 times a week appropriately, it was a risk. And if any of them would have popped, we'd have been out 14 days. So I didn't really want to risk that. So it's, again, this place, Texas, it demands excellence. And it really, it's a fit for us. It's my staff and I, my staff, it's who we are. We'd be as motivated if we were at Timbuktu. We're all about winning. We're all about excellence. We want to be the best we can be. We all know what it takes, and we have great chemistry. And I've said this at many clinics. The chemistry of my team is equally important as the chemistry that I have on my staff. And I've really been fortunate to be able to have continuity with my staff over the years.
Well, I want to dive more into Charli, but before that, you brought up your staff, and I know how important that staff is to you, how you treat them like family. I mean, your immediate assistant staff, Johnny Harris has been somebody around the game a long time, Elena Lovato, and then, of course, Deanna Jackson. Um, but I don't want to talk about them. We know about them. I want to talk about your relationship with your former players. I want to talk about Dom Dillingham and Katera Chappell and Blair Schaefer and what it means to you to have those three former players, particularly knowing their style of play and how they played for you at Mississippi State and how that transfers to being on your staff now.
And then you can add Jasmine Holmes as a GA. So
yeah, Jazz, right.
We have Jazz, Katera, Dom, and Blair. And what they provide daily is really, you just can't put a price tag on it. I mean, anytime I know our current players, when they think, good night, this is something I've never done. This is hard. This is, and one of the things we tell them all the time, you got to get past hard. I mean, you just got to get past it. But what Dom and Katera and Blair and Jazz provide is instant credibility with what we're doing, because they can walk up to them after a practice and go, hey, we've done it, and it wins. It's what's going to make you who you're going to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, but it's also what's going to win for you right now here at Texas. We've done it. We've been there. And so I just think that it's really cool to have them. They're going to be great coaches, and it's really cool for me to sit and hear what comes out of their mouth sometimes, because it's you when they're players, you wonder, are they listening? Do they get it? And then when I hear them now, and we have staff meetings, and of course, gosh, if you were to sit in a staff meeting now or even last year with Dom and Katera and Blair in there, and now Jazz is with us, gosh, you'd think I'm the softest thing since dough. I mean, it just I'm completely different today than when I coached them, and yet I feel like I'm every bit as demanding on these current players. But at the same time, I do think I have an understanding it's hard for young people. Man, it's really hard right now. Can you imagine, Debbie, being 18 to 22 right now, can't go out, can't do anything? I mean, you're just, your life is really bland. And I have so much admiration and respect for our players right now currently, because knock on wood, we've been healthy. We've stayed away from it. I don't think we've put ourselves in a position to compromise our team. And so, again, I'm probably jinxing myself, but I'm really pleased with how we've been able to navigate COVID so far. And look, our medical people here, I can't imagine anything better anywhere in the country with what they've given us a list and a protocol, and how they've really worked overtime to make sure we can have a season.
Now, I heard you after the win over SMU on the post game say Charli Collier is going to be one of the best players to ever play at Texas. And when you put her in that category, Vic, you're talking about like Clarissa Davis Wrightsville, Cammie Etheridge, Andrea Lloyd, Annette Smith. I mean, you're talking about Hall of Famers. Like, that gets me excited, and it gets my attention, especially when she's averaging almost 35 points and 14 boards after 2 games. Does she have a chip on her shoulder? Is she playing with a little bit of extra motivation? Is there something in her skill set that you've uncovered? Why is she off to such a great start?
Well, number one, her and Celeste, their motor runs at an incredible pace. And in the individual workouts, Charli, I mean, she's as good as anybody I've coached from an intensity standpoint. I mean, just really, just her and us in the gym, and yet she's in there. She's explosive in everything she does. She goes at 110. I mean, doesn't take a minute off, in a workout. And so that's unique, especially in today's world. And so, but her skill set now, Debbie, she's different. she's got some things that she can do that, if she'll, again, to be the best ever, she's gonna have to be here. She's gonna have to stay here and play a while. But man, she is really got a unique and an incredible skill set that's hard to guard.
Can you put her in some situations that are new and different for what you've coached before, like a pick and pop situation or at 6'5", handle the ball off the floor? I mean, there's some things about her skill set that might be kind of intriguing for you to have to coach, since you really haven't had a player like that.
Absolutely. We came down on the break day before yesterday, and I think she threw the outlet. She's the trailer. She wasn't trailing at the top of the key. She was over there on the left wing. We threw it to her in stride, and she knocks down a three. And
Ooh.
Look, I'm telling you right now, if I had to go out and take my team and play horse, and we were going to shoot threes, she might be the first pick that I take. And so that's what makes her so unique. I mean, she can score really, quite honestly, she can score at all three levels. She's got good enough handles and dribble drive where she can start out there at the top and one dribble now. That's all she needs from the top of the key to the rim and finish. She can finish with contact. She went 14 out of 15 at the free throw line the other night, which is really unusual for someone 6'5". She's got an incredible touch, and I think her passing skills are good. So again, she's someone that I've seen really get better in a short period of time since we've been here. And, she's going to continue to, I just think, flourish because I am going to kind of be a madman when it comes to trying to put her in some spots where she can, have a chance to really do some things.
Well, I love it, Vic, because in some ways I think you've been a little bit mislabeled. Like, I've never called you on the air the minister of defense. Like, I know how good your defense is, right? But if you go back and look at your last 3 years at Mississippi State, right, you won 32 games on the average, scoring 82 points a game. That's enough offense to win a lot of games. So having Charli really has got to be fun for you, and playing the kind of pace that you want to play is really making you dig, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it is. I want to say this. We were number 1, number 2, and number 11 in the country offensively in some of those years at Mississippi State. And somebody said the other day that there was some article wrote that said it was slow and methodical or something. And I'm like, okay,
no way, man.
Good luck with that.
No way.
Because we've really, offensively, in the last, 5-6 years of my career has really been different. And look, defense is part of basketball. I mean, I go against people all the time in recruiting, and I go, well, if you're going to go play for Vic now, y'all going to probably work on defense about hour, 15 minutes a day. And, over here, we're going to shoot 500 shots, and we're probably not going to practice more than an hour 15. And, and I get that, but you know what? That's why you haven't ever beaten us, because we do defend. But part of that leads to our offense and what we like to do in transition, and then it gets us in the press. And so that's just part of coaching to me is, you have to play both ends. And so we do spend time on both ends of the floor with our kids.
Well, I love the offensive side, although I know you bring me back a little bit on the defense, and I'm okay with that, Vic. But, we can go back and forth. You and I have been friends a long time. Yeah. So, your schedule is impressive in the non-conference, right? I'm assuming that we'll get to play all of them. And I don't want to skip ahead, but just for purposes of your relationship with Coach Blair and what great friends you are, and A&M is coming in to play you guys, and they're ranked anywhere from 15 to top 10. They're a very good basketball team and a system that you know really well. Are you excited about seeing Gary down the sideline? I know you've seen him before, but, is it different being in Texas? And, Texas is the state university, that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, it will be different in that it isn't Mississippi State and A&M playing in the SEC now. It's Texas and Texas A&M. And anytime these two schools get together, it could be jacks. I mean, people want to win,
yeah,
right.
Know.
And so, I've always said this, when you spend 15 years with somebody, it's really weird when you're in the same gym and you're coaching and now you're not standing next to each other. You're looking down at each other. It's just different. And, again, so much respect, love, admiration for him. Learned so much from him. And sometimes, you don't realize how much you learn until you're gone and you got to go do it yourself. And, it's just, and that's, I'm real fortunate in a lot of ways, but, again, now that we're here at Texas and then we're going to play, I guess, Sunday, first of all, they scored 93 points the other night. I mean, that's a lot of points, y'all. And, I think he's got his best team that he's had there in a long time. I think they have a great balance. They've got size, they've got guard play, and they've got veterans. I mean, they got like 8 or 9 seniors on that team. So they're only going to get better. So it's going to be a big challenge for my young group, I can tell you. But you know what? We'll be excited for the opportunity. We'll be at home, and not that matters in today's age because there ain't nobody here.
Yeah.
Right. But we'll certainly try to. We'll be excited about the opportunity because you know what? When A&M and Texas play, it's an exciting event for sure.
Well, I agree with you. I have Texas A&M in my top 10 in my poll, and from one Hall of Famer in Gary Blair to another, Jody Conrad. What's your relationship been like with Coach Conrad since you've been there?
Well, it's great, and unfortunately, I don't get to see her as much as I really want to. I mean, I had visions when I came here back, in April. First, when I came on the visit, she was here, and we, it was real important for me to have a chance to visit with her. In coming to Texas, and really my hope has been to see her regularly. I just have again so much respect and admiration for her, and I haven't been able to see her because I don't blame her. She stays away. It's just right now it's not worth getting out, and so I look forward. She has been to a couple practices, and I love that. And wish she'd be there every day. I mean, I embrace that, and I look forward to the day when we can sit together and have coffee in the mornings and visit, talk about last night's game. I mean, gosh, you're talking about a Hall of Famer, one of the all-time greatest in the history of our game. Who wouldn't want to sit and visit and talk and share ideas and that kind of thing? So. I feel very fortunate to be here and be around somebody like that. I just can't be around them right now.
Are you getting your daily run in?
I am. I've had to graduate from running to elliptical. Had some neck issues. Yeah, some neck issues, and man, I hate it. It drives me crazy. But the doctors have told me, said, you're going to keep running, you're going to keep having some issues. So I've been on the elliptical a lot, and I'm doing the best I can. I have to get it in because it just drives me crazy if I don't. So, but yeah, I'm doing that quite a bit.
Have you found some time to duck hunt, or where's the best fishing hole near Austin?
Well, I'm really close to my old honey hole fishing wise. And I got to spend some really good time this summer down there. Me now, right now, this time of year, I'm in the grind. And so I don't really have a lot of time for that, but I have, I've really enjoyed getting back to some of my old stomping ground honey holes that I like to fish on the coast and spend some really quality time down there with some friends that I haven't been able to really spend time with, in the last 8 years. I still haven't seen my sister. She lives 3 hours away, and she was going to come up for Thanksgiving. And then she called me the Monday of the week of Thanksgiving and said, you know what, maybe I better not come, she's, she'd hate for me to say this, but she's a little older than me. She was my kindergarten teacher, by the way.
Your sister was your kindergarten teacher?
She was my kindergarten teacher. She was my reading and spelling teacher from the 1st through the 8th grade. Gave me my first C, which resulted in the first good butt whipping by the colonel. So, but anyway, she just said, I would hate to get you sick or, we don't really want to get out and travel that much. I said, hey, I think you're smart. You might want to stay home. And so, I still haven't been able to see her, which I hate, but we've talked quite a bit, and that's been great.
I know family's important to you, but I also know that you used to spend at least one night a week in the office. Have you found a good place around your facility that you can get some rest and spend the night?
Yeah. So there's 2 spots here, actually. I'm actually in our coach's lounge right now that we've made into a makeshift office. They really don't want us in our main office on campus right now. And so, not that I don't go in over there, but it's not their favorite thing. They just would prefer. So I'm in what's called the Cooley Pavilion, which is where our practice facility is. And it's attached to the Irwin Center where we play. And so in here, there's a chair in here, Debbie, that's awesome. And I slept in a recliner for so many years because of my back. And then upstairs, there is a room that has a couch in it. It has a desk, and then it has a TV that I can plug my computer in and watch film on. And that's going to be my spot. And so it's me, it's just kind of how I am. I usually do that about 4 days a week when I'm in the grind, especially in conference. Probably will do it even more here just because it's a little bit further home to get home from the office here than it was before. So, it's all good though. It's just, it's what we do. And, I'm again, grateful to have the opportunity to be here.
Vic, if you start hanging pictures on the wall and putting some plants in that room upstairs, I'm going to start worrying about you.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, listen, one more thing. I just want to, I know you haven't had a chance to play much golf since you've been there, but man, a lot of coaches don't like to admit what a good golfer they are, because then it makes it look like they're not in the office and they should be. But I know that I've played golf with you. I know how good you are, how much fun it is. I'm going to come out there next spring when we get through this COVID stuff and play some Barton Creek with you and Coach Conrad.
You've been there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we had the K-Yow event there one year.
Right.
And, man, it was wonderful. And my first time playing at Barton Creek, that's where our membership is. And I actually live out there. And when I came up to 18, I looked over there to the right, and there's there's a brick house over there, a stone house that we had pictures made at, and me and neighbors and Gary Blair, and there's 4 or 5 others of us. We were all sitting out there, and they were doing some type of marketing, making a brochure, and they used us in their marketing brochure. How about that?
That's hilarious.
And so when I came off 18, I went, there it is. I never could remember where that happened. I immediately texted neighbors and sent him a picture of it and said, I just got off 18 at Barton Creek, and this is where we had the model. We always used to laugh about it. This is where we were models. This is where us
That's
coaches
a good-looking group, man. That's a good-looking group of models.
Yeah, man. So, hey, I'd love to see you in the spring. We hopefully can get this stuff behind us. I know there's going to be a vaccine coming out pretty quick, but for all of us, it's probably not going to be available till April or May, from what I understand. So we're going to have to keep battling and keep fighting and keep protecting and do what it takes. And I know we will.
Vic, stay healthy, stay well, stay safe. Best to you and your staff, your players, your family, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you so much for being with us on Nothing But Net.
Debbie, thank you so much, and appreciate the time today. Remember, I actually have a jigger with Nothing But Net on it. You remember that?
Yep, sure do.
All right.
Yeah,
praise the Lord and hook 'em horns.